Welcome to the Home Brew Crew. I'm Tony. This is Sean, and as always, we're here to make your D&D homebrew campaigns the best that they can possibly be. Today, we're going to be reviewing a homebrew class on D&D. Oh, I'm sorry, not a class, a race on D&D Beyond.
We do a lot of classes, though, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, we really have no class, but we do have a race today.
Yes, this one
sort of
kind of
half a race.
Yeah,
kind of
wants
race.
to be. This kind of wants to be that. This is the Elf-Orc race, and it's literally what it says. It's the Elf-Orc. It's basically a combination of the two. So you kind of get to enjoy the both worlds.
This is the half elf or the half orc if the human wasn't involved.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so it's half orc and half elf. Okay. This is created by user Villiantheory on D&D Beyond there. So if you like what we're talking about or would like to experience it, go ahead and download it. Let's get into the dexterous yet durable Elf-Orc. I have to keep saying
I know. It's a bit bizarre. It's a bit bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, and it describes this in the beginning part of the race. Just this combination alone creates a lot of conflict with the person playing the character as well as the character itself, because elves and orcs are very, very different kinds of people.
And normally in fantasy settings, they're right up against each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
kind of putting that in your own character naturally will create kind of this turmoil inside of yourself. And then when you're venturing around, I mean, if you meet an orc or if you meet an elf, you're not really seeing eye to eye with that person.
You don't really belong in either set. You know, it's kind of that when Unga met Nathaniel kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
So, but let's get into some of the stuff in there. I mean, you guys can read through some of the turmoil within the naming stuff, but I want to kind of get into their stats real quick if we could. Mm-hmm. So they get strength, dexterity, and constitution. So they're strong and they're quick, which is what you would expect for a half orc and half elf.
It's only +1.
Yeah.
So again, it kind of hammers out the fact that like you're best of both worlds, kind of.
Yeah. Most ones that are standard have either 2 to 1 or 3 to everything else. Like like the Tritons, you can add 3, so it's not bad. Let's see. Age is about the same with everything. Their size, they're still medium in size, although they're about 6 to 7 feet tall. They are orcs that are quite pretty. That's what they kind of look like.
Yeah, basically like a handsome orc.
Handsome orc. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Walk speed is about the same, 30 feet. Dark vision from both of your parentage.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, if you didn't have dark vision, something's wrong with you. And what race doesn't have dark vision nowadays, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen? But yeah, you do get dark vision with this race as well, so pretty kind of almost standard at this point.
Yeah.
The next part's really interesting because this is called Elven Gift. So basically, your elf-orc descendants kind of give you this gift that you inherit from them, and you have 4 different options. So you can get something from the moon elf, wood elf, dark elf, or the aquatic elf heritage. And each one kind of gives you a different extra little feature, whether it's like an extra cantrip or a little extra feature. I like this just because it not only gives you maybe an extra spell or something, it's just cool to add to your lore.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got, your high elves, you get your high elf cantrips for that. Fleet of Foot and Mask of Wild for wood elves, which is common with that. Drow get drow magic. We all know what that's like. We experienced that the other day. And, of course, you get the swim speed if you're picking an aquatic elf, which is kind of... You still do get Fey ancestry as well. So you have that advantage against being charmed. Magic can put you to sleep. However, I did notice you don't have the... You don't need to sleep
you don't get the meditation part where you can sleep for just the 4 hours.
Right.
And then not have to take the rest of sleep, which is actually interesting, very fair, thank goodness, because that is a wonderful feature. I don't know if a lot of campaigns usually do this, but when you're resting and you only have to rest for 4 hours, that's really good.
Not to mention, normally what you have with that is you got an elf that stays up the entire night keeping watch.
Yeah.
And normally they'll lob arrows from afar if something's coming at you. But with this, you can just, you're half an orc.
Yeah.
If the orc didn't sleep, he could just stay up 4 hours, whatever, meditate, and then
bash it in the head.
Right. Well, which seems kind of, interesting. But I like that they left that out. But the Fey ancestry is still in, which I think is kind of cool. But they also get aggression.
Yeah, which is one of the hallmark orc qualities where you get to move your speed towards an enemy, which, again, still makes sense. You're still kind of enjoying the best of both worlds. That being said, with this kind of mixed race in particular, you get an interesting feature called Erratic Dodge, which initially we were kind of mixed on this.
Kind of confused by it, going, well, I don't understand how that would work or whatever.
And the reason behind it is your opponent looks at you and he sees, I think it's an orc, but I think it's an elf. I'm not too sure.
Is that a green elf?
Yeah.
Or just a really pretty orc.
and in theory, it's supposed to generate this confusion. Basically, once every short or long rest, you can use your reaction to give yourself an advantage on a dex saving throw, or force a creature to re-roll an attack and take the lowest of the 2 rolls, which is a really cool feature. Initially, it seemed kind of weird. It's like, oh, this is too good. This doesn't make sense. But I guess when you kind of think about it, when even the most hardened of fighters, if they've never seen a good-looking elf or an elf
I see good-looking elves all the time, but
or a good-looking orc, or vice versa, you would be thrown off. You know? That makes sense.
One of those, what is that kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. So in hindsight, this actually does kind of make sense with the race.
And in case you're wondering, you can speak Common, Elvish, and Orc.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's pretty good. They don't give you an option for an extra because you're already speaking Elvish and Orcish, thank goodness. So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. All in all, I think it's a fantastic race. There's a couple little things I probably would have tweaked on it. And you might want to tweak those for your homebrew campaign as well. But definitely 2 thumbs up and at least 4 brews to Villiantheory for creating that. It is a fantastic, fantastic race. Don't you think so, Sean?
Yeah, definitely. Ironically, I had a player in my campaign that actually wanted to make this, so...
Do you want to call him out and let him know?
No. He knows who he is, and he's watching this video.
Yes,
so
I'm sure
I'm sure after we upload this, I'm going to get a nice message about building an Elf-Orc in our campaign.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we're going to keep going through all these different homebrew races and classes and everything for you, and picking out some really nice ones that we can review in the next couple of weeks. But if you've got something that you'd like to send us, that you'd like us to review, or at least get your word out about your class, your race, your item, or even your monsters, come October, we're going to be doing a full monster mash kind of thing.
I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
All your mummies, vampires, zombies, you name it. We're going to be doing it for that whole month. So, and we'll have a bunch more planned out as well.
Yep, it's going to be a lot of fun. So just remember, the things that you homebrew are going to be the things that make your campaign fantastic and great. And always the best campaigns are the ones that are homebrewed. Until next time, keep brewing.